This is Steve, and we're going to talk about managing product categories inside of WooCommerce. So what we need to do first is just go under products and then categories. And we'll see over here the categories that are currently in the system, and it'll actually give us the count of products already in those categories. Now before you start making categories, I would suggest you plan out what main level categories you're going to have, or top level categories, and then what subcategories you might want to have. Now back in the old days, you'd have just tons and tons of subcategories, and e-commerce catalogs would get pretty complicated. If you don't need to use lots of subcategories, I would suggest simplifying the way that your catalog is arranged. If you can get away with only having like 5 to 6 main categories, and inside of those are all the products, that's great. If you really do have to have subcategories, what I would suggest is making sure that if you're going to make a category, have at least 5 products in a category. Don't make a category just to have 1 or 2 or 3 products inside of it, because that requires extra clicking from the visitor to get around your catalog. So let's go ahead and start adding a category here. It's really easy. Over here in the name field, we'll just type in test category. The next one, slug. This may be something you want to mess with. Oftentimes you'll just leave this blank, but I'll explain it to you so you know what it is and how to use it. But basically the slug, if you look over here to current categories, is showing you what that is. So chemicals, grease, heavy duty motor oil. And if we click on view, I'm going to right click and open in a new tab so I don't lose where I'm at. I'll show you what this is. So you can see in the URL here we've got /product category /heavy duty motor oil. So that right there is the slug. I don't know why they call it that. It's just what they call it. So if we want to, like, let's say our category name is I don't know, a big crazy name or something. Well, we don't really want a big crazy URL, so we might call it we might just say, we might call it test, or shorten it and say test category. Or maybe we don't have a big crazy name, but this is the name we want to display to people. Oops. Like here's the name of this category. So maybe we have a name we want to display to people, and then maybe we want a different name for the URL that might be more search engine friendly, like I'm just making this up, but maybe we call it motor oil in Indiana or something. So that's a way to just override and control what that URL is. Parent, if this is a top level category, we leave the parent as none because it has no parent category. If we wanted to make a subcategory, we just simply select which category is going to be the parent of this one. The description, this will depend on your website, but the description, if you go ahead and type it in, you can see whether or not it will show up on your particular website with your particular website theme. But in the case of this website, the description will show up right up here once we're in a category. So you can optionally have a description if you want. For display type, this is when somebody clicks inside the category, what is it going to show? By default, it will show any subcategory that's inside and any products that are inside. Or you can say, well, I only want it to show products, but don't show any subcategories that are in this category. Maybe you want to just not do that because you want to put a link somewhere in an email blast to the special subcategory that's hidden or something. But most of the time you'll just leave this as default, and I would recommend that you don't have subcategories and products on the same level. For example, if you have a main category called chemicals, inside of chemicals, you should really either have only subcategories, if you have enough products to do that, or you should only have products. But if you start mixing, like if you clicked on chemicals and you saw subcategories in there and products in there all mixed together, it kind of gets confusing as to where you're at or how this thing's really organized. So just keep it simple. Either products or subcategories should be in a category. So we'll just leave that as default. If we want to put an image on here, we'll just click that, and we can just drag ourselves in an image or pick one that's already on there, and then we'll click Add New Category. Now I've noticed that depending on your screen size, you may be scrolled, down to the bottom, and you might not see what's up here. And just so that you're aware, when you click Add New Product Category, currently the WooCommerce doesn't say anything. It doesn't say, hey, your category's been added. It just quietly plops it up here. So if you click that button and you're not sure what's going on, scroll up and just make sure that it's already in here. And then you can go about adding a new category. If you want to delete a category, it's really easy. You can just click, hover over the one and click delete. If you want to edit a category, just click edit, and then it'll pull up that category's information. It's all the same stuff you've already seen, except if you have this Yoast WordPress SEO plugin, it does give you some more options for overriding the title of the page for the category, the meta description, which helps people decide whether or not they should click on the listing in Google if this category page shows up, and some things like that. So just to be aware. But that's pretty much it. Thanks very much.